Lokati here. Today we're going to be going over day 2 of our Paladin Flickerstrike build. Let's get to some mapping. Alright, so here is why I think Paladin is the best Flickerstrike. I have an Abomination map here. Burning Ground is kind of annoying, but everything else is mostly okay. We'll just try not to die to Burning Ground. Run this on our Abyss leveling. Now, obviously, there's more dangerous stuff in the game than T-17s. But, like, this is why I think Paladin is a better choice than Wild Speaker. Like, right here. Because not only are we functionally immortal outside of one hit, we also have ridiculous damage. Anyway, we can let a whole Abyss spawn on us. Like, this is a T-17 Abyss. These are not, like, weak creatures. But that would be why. Here's the second reason why I think Paladin is the best. Go on down and play. I don't really think I'm gonna die, but totems are annoying. Anki and DPSC. Alright, so now let's take a look at our character. It is day 2. We did a lot of farming today. We farmed with our essence strategy, which I'll link down in the comments below. We were asked a lot about our leveling strategy as well, because we leveled the character very quickly. The leveling strategy is an Abyss leveling strategy. Let's see if I've got it loaded up here. This one right here. So Abyss maps, so you only need one of these. Abyss maps that do not lead to an Abyssal Depths pit lead to 4 pits if able. Just means more pits. And then we're running either Chance to contain an Abyss and Abyss monsters grant 33% XP, or just Abyss monsters grant 34% XP. But just as much XP as possible. You want 100% chance to contain Abyss. I've got like way over 100%. It doesn't do anything extra. But you just want as many of these XP rolls as possible and as high of the rolls as you possibly can. There are some other things you can do to kind of min-max this, but God, this leveling is so fast, you don't need to do anything else. These are all dirt cheap. This gets me up to like 400 or 500%. 403% chance to contain an Abyss. Where is my XP? 492% increased experience. It's huge. I went from 69 on the character to 95 in like 4 hours. Highly recommend the leveling strategy. Like I said, we did a lot of crafting today. We did craft the shield. This was a recom shield. It's virtually perfect. I could divine roll more spell suppression out of it, but I don't need that yet. But it's T1 block, chance to block spells, max life, aspect of the cat, recover life when you block, 1 spell suppression. It's perfect. Great shield. We got very fortunate on this. We only missed 2 of the recoms, and they were early on, so it didn't take a whole lot of time or currency to get this shield put together. If you're not familiar with recom crafting, I recommend you look into that. It's very, very powerful. We also got these gloves today. Fractured incursion gloves with a essence attack speed, chaos res roll, T1 life, crafted, increased damage while leeching, and then a little bit of increased armor evasion. Very strong gloves. I know Frenzy gloves are a popular choice for Flickerstrike, and Frenzy gloves do work. They're only a tiny DPS increase over these gloves, and to get Frenzy gloves with 18% increased attack speed is physically impossible. And then to get Frenzy gloves with Chaos Res and Max Life is a nightmare. So these are easy to craft. Frenzy gloves would take hundreds and hundreds of divines to make this good, and they would be mirror tier gloves anyway for most people. So these are solid. Don't hate on the incursion gloves. Fractured orbs are real cheap right now. We recrafted our ring as well. I need to do more crafting on it, but I got distracted with other things. Global crit multi, chaos res on the ring, max life, and an open suffix or a valuable suffix, and then craft on, ideally, elemental damage to attacks, lightning damage to attacks. That's what you'd be looking for. We also recrafted our sword today. Rerolled it for T1 attack speed, veiled the crit multi, which is what we prefer to have to begin with, and then switched over to attack speed as the enchant, as that is superior. I need to reroll the attack speed to 6%, and I probably need to prefix this cannot be changed, div the attack speed up to 27. But those are minor changes. It's an amazing sword. 1130 DPS, double crit multi crit sword. Very, very, very solid. Can't get much better than that in the current game without looking at some either triple synth crafting or some recom crafting. So this was a great upgrade for us right here. Now, as you can see in the POB when we look at it, this is an infinite EHP character now. We have huge Fizz hit, huge Ellie hit, and infinite EHP. Infinite EHP just means it is nearly impossible for us to die to many attacks coming from many different targets. That does not mean we cannot die. We are far from immortal. There is no immortal builds in PoE. Void maps prove it every season. However, we are incredibly tanky for a Flickerstrike. AFKing T17 tanky. It's very, very solid. Our active tankiness is also incredibly good because we have leech, life on hit through instant leech, as well as taunt on hit, and so we've got a ton of tankiness while we're actively doing things. So we have foregone life flask completely because I don't really think it's necessary, which lets us lean more into the paladin side of things, which is 40% increased effect of our magic utility flasks. You have a lot of options and avenues to get to infinite EHP. On the build where I'm at right now, I took advantage of more than skill, which is lucky block, and that's a huge part of our infinite EHP. There were only 20 div for a set, so that was a very inexpensive avenue to getting massive amounts of survivability. You can also do it with Masterful Form, which is converts your frenzy charges to endurance charges. You would wear Dark Ray Vectors instead and use a Mage Blood, and then you can get to infinite EHP that way. There's a few other different ways to do it. This is just the one we chose to go on the character. Now, our defensive layers are very, very solid for bosses. We are crit immune versus marked targets. We have 100% spell suppression. We obviously have 88% attack block, 87% spell block, 60% evasion, very high life regeneration through Paladin to deal with some degens, and so overall defensive layers on the character are very good. Now let's take a look at our POB. This will be our day 2 update. You can see we hit about 60 million combined DPS, infinite HP, 27k max Fizz hit, 87k LE, and 78 chaos. We're at 4.4k life, no longer reserving precision. And then we are at 89% block chance, 88% spell block chance, 100% spell suppression, and capture res all the way down the board. So I'm really happy with where we ended here. I'll include a link to this POB, which will include both the day 1 finish and the day 2 finish in the comments down below. As always, if you have any questions over the build or you need some help with your character, drop a comment down below or come by Twitch. I'm happy to look at anyone's character anytime and try to identify where you can make improvements or what you can do to fix problems with the character. Thank y'all very much for watching. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.